Some jokes are harmless. Some jokes expose the truth. Your wife thought she was being funny when she stood at that backyard barbecue and told everyone she would trade her husband for a richer upgrade. People laughed. She smirked. You smiled to keep the peace. But one man didn't laugh. The neighbor across the fence looked her in the eyes and said, "If you are serious, I will take her." The crowd went silent. Your wife froze. Her face drained. Suddenly the joke didn't feel like a joke anymore, and in that moment you saw something she never expected. The cost of disrespect. But before I tell you what happened that day, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Some jokes are harmless. Some jokes expose the truth. You learned that the hard way on a warm Saturday afternoon, standing in your own backyard with neighbors, friends, music, and grilled food filling the air. You were relaxed. You were proud of the home you worked for. You were happy to share a good day with people you trusted. Your wife moved from group to group, loud, laughing, holding a glass of wine that never stayed full for long. She liked attention. She liked eyes on her. Most of the time you laughed with her. Today felt different. She was louder, sharper. Every joke seemed aimed at you. She teased how cheap you were for buying store-brand ketchup. She joked about your old truck. She rolled her eyes when someone complimented the house and said she deserved something bigger. People forced small laughs. You kept your face calm. You had seen this mood before. When she mixed alcohol with insecurity, the words got sharp, but the crowd got thicker. Neighbors wandered over. More ears, more eyes, more fuel. Your friend Mark asked how long you had been married. Before you answered, your wife cut in. "Too long," she said. "I am taking offers for a trade-in if anyone wants an upgrade." Laughter rolled across the yard. You forced a smile, even though your stomach twisted. You had been the silent punchline before. You told yourself she didn't mean harm. You told yourself she was trying to be funny. But then she added, "I swear, if someone richer lived next door, I would trade my husband in a heartbeat." This time, the laughter faded into nervous echoes. People looked at her, then at you. Your jaw tightened. You stayed still. One comment could be brushed off. Two felt like a public knife. Your wife took another sip of wine and spun toward the fence, where your neighbor, Daniel, listened with crossed arms. He was quiet, older, divorced, a man who didn't speak unless he had something sharp to say. Your wife pointed at him and grinned. "See?" she said. "If he had money, I would be gone already." Daniel looked her in the eyes. No smile, no laugh. "If you are serious," he said, "I will take her." The air dropped. The music still played, but everything else froze. Your wife's grin collapsed. Her hand loosened, and wine spilled on the grass. People stared between you and Daniel, unsure what to do. Some looked embarrassed. Some looked shocked. Nobody laughed. Your wife shook her head fast. "What? No, I was joking," Daniel shrugged. "So was I think." He held her stare a moment longer. She blinked first. You set down your drink, calm as stone. You wanted to yell. You wanted to walk away. Instead, you walked to the grill and tended the food. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't defend yourself. Silence did the job. People moved awkwardly. Conversations restarted. Your wife stayed quiet for the first time all day. Later, when the crowd thinned, she walked up behind you. "Are you mad?" she asked. You flipped a burger. "Should I be?" It was a joke. You looked at her. You said it twice. Loud enough for everyone to hear. She crossed her arms. "I was being funny." You were being disrespectful. Her eyes narrowed. "Oh, come on. Everyone jokes about their spouse." "No," you said. "Not everyone offers themselves to the highest bidder." Her cheeks flushed. "You are overreacting. You embarrassed me." She stepped closer. It was harmless. You didn't answer. You gathered the food and brought it inside. Guests slowly left. Some muttered awkward goodbyes. Others avoided eye contact. When the door closed for the last time, the silence settled heavy. She stood in the living room, arms folded, tapping her foot. "You are really upset over nothing," she said. "People joke like that all the time." "Not wives," you said. "Not in front of friends. Not in front of neighbors." She rolled her eyes. "You are too sensitive." You placed the tray on the counter. "You threw me under the bus to make people laugh." She scoffed. "So what?" They laughed. "No," you said. They cringed. "And when Daniel offered to take you, you looked scared." Her face went white. "Because he was being creepy. He was showing you what your joke sounded like." She went silent. You walked past her, heading for the bedroom. She followed. "That man is disgusting," she said. "I was joking." "He took it too far." "No." He held a mirror up to you. She reached for your arm. "Stop being dramatic." You pulled away. "You humiliated me," her voice cracked. "It was a joke." You stared at her. "Then laugh." She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. "I have been patient," you said. "I let things slide. The comments, the sarcasm, the little digs in front of friends. I kept quiet because I did not want to fight. But today, you crossed a line." She swallowed hard. "Okay, I am sorry." "No, you are sorry because he answered you." Her eyes watered. "You think I meant it?" "You said it twice." She wiped her face fast. "I did not mean any of it." "You sure?" She stared at the floor. The silence told everything her words didn't. You sat on the edge of the bed. She stayed standing. "You want to talk about respect?" You asked. "Respect is public, not private. You treat me with kindness behind closed doors, but out there, you treat me like a joke." She whispered. "I didn't think it mattered." "It matters." Tears fell faster. "I looked stupid, I know. I saw everyone's faces. I saw you walk away from me. I felt like the worst wife in the world." You didn't comfort her. "Not yet." She sank to the floor. "I hate myself for saying it. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I need to make people laugh at you." You stayed quiet. She covered her face. "I am scared." "Of what?" "That someday I won't be enough. That you will leave me. That I will be boring. That I will fade." You stared at her. "So you insult me because you fear losing me?" "Yes," she whispered. "It makes no sense." "I know." You stood and walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" she asked, voice shaking. "You need time to think," you said. "And I need space." Her face crumpled. "Please don't leave." "I am not leaving you," you said. "I am leaving the room." She stayed on the floor, crying quietly. You walked to the living room, sat in the dark, let the weight of the night settle. She played with fire, and tonight, the flames burned her back. Yes, you sat on the couch, arms crossed, staring at the dim glow from the streetlights through the blinds. The house felt different now, not loud, not warm. Every corner carried tension. You could hear her crying down the hallway, muffled so the neighbors wouldn't hear, but loud enough that you did. Minutes dragged. Then an hour. You didn't move. At some point, her crying stopped. The house went silent again. Silence hurt more than the tears. Around midnight, she walked into the living room. Eyes red, voice soft. "Can we talk?" You didn't answer right away. You stared at the floor while she sat on the opposite end of the couch, far enough not to touch you. "I didn't sleep last night," she said. "I kept replaying everything. The barbecue, my voice, your face, the way Daniel looked at me. I felt sick. You stayed still. I know I embarrassed you, and I know I hurt you. I don't have a single excuse that makes sense. I keep thinking, why did I say those things?" She wiped her face. "Because I wanted attention. Because I wanted people to laugh at my lines, not someone else's. Because I thought if I sounded bold or funny, people would like me more. I didn't think about you. I didn't think about how it sounded. I only cared about myself." You finally spoke. "At least you're honest." She nodded. "I want to fix this." "You can't fix today. There's no rewind." "I know." She leaned forward, hands shaking. "Do you want to leave me?" You looked up at her. Do you want to be traded for someone better? Her face broke. No. Do you want someone richer? No. So why say it? She swallowed. Because I am insecure. You raised an eyebrow. Insecure people protect what they love. They don't advertise themselves to other men. She looked down. I know. You took a long breath and leaned back. The worst part wasn't Daniel, you said. It was watching people look at me like I was worthless. Like I was a joke in my own home, in my own yard. She covered her mouth and started crying again. Quiet this time, not dramatic. I'm sorry, she whispered. I never wanted that. Wanting and doing are different. She nodded slowly. I hurt you. Yes. I disrespected you. Yes. And I will never do it again. You glanced toward her. So what happens next? I fix myself, she said. I stop trying to impress people. I stop using humor as a weapon. I stop acting like I'm better than the man who gives me everything. You pressed your thumb against your temple. You could feel the anger cooling, but not gone. She moved closer by a few inches, still not touching. I talked to my sister, she said. I told her what I did. She asked me why I treated you like a punchline. I felt humiliated saying it out loud. Good, you said. You should feel embarrassed, she exhaled shakily. I do. You turned to face her. If anyone spoke about you that way in public, I would shut them down in 1 second. If someone laughed at you, I would defend you, because you are my wife, and you deserve respect. Her eyes softened with guilt. You always protect me, even when I don't deserve it. That's what love looks like. She leaned forward again. Does love still live here? You didn't answer. Instead, you stood and walked toward the bedroom. She jumped up and followed. Please, she said. Tell me what you want me to do. You stopped at the doorway. Actions, you said. Not apologies. I've heard enough words for one night. You entered the room and closed the door. She stayed outside, silent. You didn't lock it. She didn't push it open. She went to the guest room and shut that door instead. You lay awake until morning. When sunlight came, you got ready for work. When you stepped into the hallway, she was already up. She was dressed, hair tied back, eyes swollen from crying. She handed you a cup of coffee, but didn't force conversation. Before you left, she looked at you. I love you, even when I act like a fool. You didn't say anything. You walked out the door. At work, you tried to focus, but your mind kept replaying the barbecue, the laughter, the silence after Daniel spoke, the look on her face when she realized she crossed a line she never saw before. By lunchtime, your phone buzzed. A message from her. I threw out the wine, all of it. I'm done trying to drink my way into being funny. Another message followed. Tonight, I want to talk. Not argue. Not joke. Talk. You didn't respond. When you got home that evening, the house smelled like dinner. She cooked your favorite meal. Not expensive, not fancy, just something she knew brought you comfort. She set the table for two, but sat in silence until you chose whether to join her. You did. You sat down. She waited until you took the first bite. Only then did she speak. I want to tell you something. You looked at her. I know why I do this. Not as an excuse, but as a reason. You stayed quiet. My father treated my mother like she was nothing. He insulted her in front of guests, neighbors, friends. He made her small, so she made him small back. She learned to hurt before she could be hurt. You narrowed your eyes. So you learned the same thing? I learned that love was a fight, not a partnership. You took another slow bite. She continued, but you aren't him, and I am not my mother. I don't want to treat you the way she treated him. You deserve better. She reached into her pocket and placed something on the table. A folded piece of paper. What's that? You asked. My apology written in ink. Not spoken in panic. You unfolded it. Her handwriting filled the page. Simple words. No excuses. No but. No blaming alcohol. No blaming childhood. Just owning what she did. You read every line. She watched your face, terrified of your reaction. When you finished, you folded it and placed it back on the table. "I hear you," you said, "but respect doesn't come back in a day." "I know," she whispered. You leaned back. "I need something from you. Anything. No more jokes at my expense." "Not in public. Not in private. Not even a little," she nodded fast. "Done. No more wine when we have people over. Done. No more pretending you are above me." "You and I are equal," she breathed out. "Yes," you looked into her eyes. "Earn my trust back," her voice cracked. "I will." After dinner, you went to the porch and sat outside, letting the evening air calm your thoughts. She joined you a few minutes later, but she didn't sit close. She stayed one chair away, hands folded in her lap. "Do you want space?" she asked. "Or do you want company?" You looked at her. "I want honesty," she nodded. Then something unexpected happened. She stood and walked to the fence. The same spot she laughed at you, the same place Daniel answered. And without you asking, without forcing it, she took a deep breath and spoke loud enough for the neighborhood to hear, even if no one was listening. "My husband is a good man. I am lucky he chose me, and I will spend the rest of my life proving I deserve him." She turned and faced you. No tears, no shaking voice, just truth. You didn't clap. You didn't smile. But something inside you loosened. She walked back, slow, waiting for you to push her away. Instead, you held out your hand. She sat beside you, this time close, resting her head lightly on your shoulder. No words, no jokes, no noise. Peace. For the first time since the barbecue, you felt it. Yes. The next morning, the house felt different. Still tense, but lighter. Like the weight wasn't gone, only shared. You woke before her and made coffee. When she came into the kitchen, she waited for a cue. No jokes, no sarcasm. She poured herself a small cup of water instead of wine. You noticed. She wanted you to notice. "I called my mom this morning," she said quietly. "I told her what I did. I told her I was wrong." You raised an eyebrow. "What did she say?" "She said I sounded like my father." That was enough. You nodded once. No praise, no comfort, just acknowledgement. You both sat at the table. The silence wasn't angry anymore. It was working space. Later that afternoon, you walked outside to take out the trash. Daniel, the neighbor, stood near the fence trimming his bushes. He looked up, unbothered, as if nothing happened yesterday. He offered a small nod. You gave a short nod back. He spoke first. "Hope everything is all right." You stared at him. "You meant what you said?" He paused. "I meant to shut her up. She needed to hear herself." You didn't thank him. But you didn't get angry either. He went back to his yard. You went back inside. Your wife stood at the window, watching. "I know you hate him," she said. "I don't hate him," you answered. "I hate that he had a reason to speak." She lowered her head. "I gave him the opening." Later, she asked if you wanted to go out for dinner. You said no. She asked if you wanted to watch a movie. You said no. You weren't trying to punish her. You were rebuilding distance so she understood the damage wasn't small. Around 9 p.m., she walked into the room holding a small notebook. "What's that?" you asked. You said actions, so I made something. She handed it to you. "Every time I insult you, joke about you, embarrass you, or speak without thinking, I write it down. Every time I fix something, support you, or show respect, I write that too. I need to see myself change." You opened the first page. At the top, she wrote, "What I did wrong, I made my husband feel small. I humiliated him in front of others. I treated disrespect like humor. What I will do, right. Speak kindness. Protect him in public. Defend him like he defends me. Respect him every day. You closed the notebook and set it aside. Good start. She didn't smile. She didn't look relieved. She only nodded, like a student acknowledging instructions. When she walked away, you realized something important. She wasn't pretending. This wasn't guilt. This was growth. The next weekend, your neighbors invited people back over for another cookout. Your first instinct was to decline. Too soon. Too raw. Too many witnesses. But your wife looked at you and said, I want to face it. I want to show them I'm not that woman anymore. But only if you say yes. You thought for a moment, then nodded. At the cookout, she stayed close to you. Not clingy, not nervous, calm. When someone teased the store brand ketchup again, she smiled and said, You know what? My husband works hard. He pays the bills. He gives us a home. If ketchup is the worst part of my life, I'll take it. People laughed, this time respectfully. You watched her. She wasn't performing. She wasn't overcompensating. She was simply speaking truth. Later, Daniel walked over. He stopped a few feet away. She turned toward him first. I owe you something, she said. Not respect, not friendship, just honesty. I was out of line last week. You called me out. You didn't do it kindly, but you did it truthfully. I deserved it. Daniel nodded. You did. Thank you, she said. Then she walked away. It stunned him. It stunned you. When the cookout ended, you headed home. She walked beside you, quiet, waiting for your reaction. Inside the house, you sat on the couch. She sat next to you, close, but not touching. I am trying, she said softly. I see that. I want you to trust me again. I believe you do. She looked like she wanted to cry, but didn't. I know it will take time, she said. But if I spend the rest of my life showing you who I want to be, then that's my purpose. You leaned back. When you made that joke, you said, it wasn't the words. It was the intent. You wanted attention, even if it cost me dignity. I know, she whispered, and I will never choose attention over you again. A long quiet took over the room. Not tension. Reflection. Then you said something you hadn't planned. Come here. She moved closer. You pulled her into your arms. She started crying. Not loud, not dramatic. Just quiet tears of relief. You held her until the shaking stopped. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. Your marriage changed. Not perfect. More honest. She listened more. You spoke more. She complimented you in front of people, not because she was trying to fix things, but because she finally understood what her words held. She became proud of who you were, not hungry for who might look her way. One night, months later, you were invited to another neighborhood event. You went together. People treated you both differently now, respectfully. Someone joked about trade-ins again, trying to be funny. Everyone looked at her. She smiled and said, I already won the lottery. I don't trade jackpots. You didn't blush. You didn't shrink. You stood taller. That night, when everyone left and the house went quiet, she sat on your lap, wrapped, her arms around your neck, and whispered, Thank you for not giving up on me. You kissed her forehead. Thank you for changing. That joke could have ended us, she said. But it didn't, you replied. Because you love me? No, you said. Because you learned to love me back. She nodded and rested her head on your shoulder. No whine, no audience, no loud voice. Just a woman who understood the worth of respect. Some marriages break when one joke becomes a truth. Yours survived because the truth built something stronger than pride. If you want another story filled with twists, heartbreak, and second chances, the next video drops tomorrow. And if you enjoy stories like this, there's a free download in the description that gives you more emotional tales you can listen to anytime. One of them might feel close to your own life.